So, Gunata, if we look at the figures of the past 2 weeks closely, I think we can say with more and more certainty that Thailand has now been able to contain the spread of the coronavirus to a large degree. Today, we have only 3 new infections,
Yes,
another
เช็คอิ
single-digit
นไป
increase
11 ล้า
in
นกว่า
almost a
เช็
month.
คเอาท์ไป 8 ล้านกว่า
yes. Very good news indeed with the new case of infection, only 3. And we are in the downward curve of the new infection in Thailand for more than 3 weeks already, Kuntepchai, and we are now in the second phase of easing restriction. So this must be good sign for COVID-19 Situation Administration or CCSA, which responsible for daily briefing for the whole nation.
No, but Gunata, amid the good news, 2 of the new cases today have certainly raised some alarm. Dr. Tavisin Visunuyotin, the spokesman of the Center for COVID-19 Situation Administration, said that one of the 2 cases is a Thai man who is 72 years old with diabetes and lung cancer. The point is that he, after visiting a public hospital in Bangkok 4 days ago, he went to a barber shop in Prachachun area. And on Monday, he had fever and serious coughing. He then returned to the public hospital he had visited and was tested positive for COVID-19. So now, medical authorities are trying to locate other customers of the barbershop visited by the patient so that they would have medical tests to find out whether they were infected or not. And then the second new case is a German man, age 42, who showed no symptoms and apparently had no underlying health conditions. He lives in Bangkok and visited his Thai wife's family in Chayapum province in the northeast recently. And on May the 8th, a family member developed a fever but did not seek a test. The German man then visited a shopping center in the province, and after returning to Bangkok, Kunnata, he underwent a checkup and was tested positive for COVID-19. So these 2 cases, Gunata, only remind us how volatile the situation is despite the progress that we have made so far in combating the virus.
Yes, public officials, especially public health officials, must have been taken this point in mind because we are in the state of easing the restrictive measures. And the other new case today is 25-year-old Thai woman who was quarantined after returning from a language course in the Philippines on May 13. And although asymptomatic, she tested positive for the disease on Tuesday, becoming the first COVID-19 patient among returnees from the Philippines. So that's the first case of infection from the Philippines, Kuntepchai.
Yeah, so these 3 cases are among some of the reasons that provided grounds for the National Security Council to propose extending the emergency decree for another month until the end of June. So this is sort of bad, not so bad news, but not positive news for people who would love to see more easing of the shutdown restrictions.
Of course, right now they must be quite alert to see what's the development after nearly 1 full week of easing restriction in the second phase. And Thailand has passed through its first wave of COVID-19 outbreak. The government has imposed state of emergency and curfew, and everything is on the plate, and they are being revising all the restrictive measures. So these 3 new infection cases, particularly today, will be like part of very crucial factors in making a decision, Kuntepchai. Especially tomorrow, they will have a major meeting.
That's right. So after consulting with representatives from several government agencies and the private sector, the National Security Council today decided to have the emergency decree extended until the end of June. Some of the reasons cited by General Somsak Rungsita, the Secretary General of the Council, are that the decree, the state of emergency, is needed to sustain the effectiveness and uniformity of government agencies in dealing with the pandemic. And then because the country is moving toward the third and fourth phases of easing down of the shutdown, the measures, the government need strong measures in hand to deal with whatever the unexpected developments that could arise when the restrictions are eased in the next few weeks.
Today is the 57th day that Thailand is under state of emergency. So if they have proposed to extend for one more month, it means that it will be extended until the end of June. And today, according to the press conference by Security Council, he said he has monitored all the activities under state of emergency. And the point of the main concern is the red zone activity, especially schools and university, all the education institutions which have to be reopened on the first semester on the 1st of July. That's part of the factor in consideration to extend state of emergency, Kun Thepchai.
Of course, the decision must have come as a big disappointment to critics of the government who don't see the need for the government to continue using the state of emergency to deal with the pandemic. They claim that the government has enough laws in its hand, to exercise to cope with the situation. So the extension of the state of emergency is seen by them as another attempt by the government to tighten its control on free movements and freedom of expression by people who may not agree with all the things that government is doing.
And regarding with the killing of coronavirus today, there is another point raised by Dr. Tavisin Visanuyotin Kun Thepchai during the press briefing. He mentioned car parking in the heat, in the sun, that can kill coronavirus. That's according to research by University of Georgia in the United States. They have this particular research telling us that that can be one solution of killing coronavirus.
Yeah, I'm sure that many people out there must be very anxious to know whether heat from the sun can in any way take care of the coronavirus, because we all understand that virus normally thrives in cold weather, right? But now we're still in the middle of summer, even though the rainy season has just started, but the weather is still very, very warm and even hot. And it looks like today we have an answer to that question. Dr. Tavisin, as Kunatha just mentioned, quoted recent research by the University of Georgia as suggesting that extreme heat built up inside a car parked in the sun could help kill COVID-19 virus. He said the research shows that heat in a car that goes up as much as 55 degrees Celsius can kill the virus in about 20 minutes. So what does it mean, Kunatha? It means that the next time you want to park your car, instead of trying to find a shady spot as you would normally do, you may as well want to look for any place that is directly under the sun.
Yeah, so in a way, it's good for Thai people, good for Thailand, because we have abundance of sunshine and car park can be available. They can park their car in the sun, unlike many countries in the Western area in which they cannot park their car in the sunshine. So that's very different situation for other countries.
All right, so.
And with the alternative state quarantine, Kun Thepchai, there is now other options for people who don't like to go for state quarantine. They can have somewhere else to go as well.
Yeah, that's the suggestion, the idea floated by Dr. Tavisin today about introducing the so-called alternative state quarantine for Thais and foreigners who will be arriving in Thailand in large numbers once the travel restrictions are eased. He said the 14-day quarantine requirement will continue to be applied to the Thai returnees and foreign visitors, and that will overwhelm the Thai public health system. So a choice is being offered. That is that hotels and hospitals can work together to provide quarantine facilities for these people. That means these people can choose to be quarantined at a hotel or hospital instead of at facilities provided by the state. And of course, they can do so at their own expense.
That's right. So for people who can afford to opt for alternative instead of state quarantine. Now they can have options to make decision. But state quarantine in Thailand is quite well known in terms of welcoming and trying to take care of returnees from other countries back to Thailand. Kun Thepchai.
In fact, let's go back to the graphics we just showed you. Now, in fact, a few hotels and hospitals in Bangkok are already offer the alternative quarantine service for people who need to self-isolate. And we have seen at least one online advertisement for such service. Take a look at the graphic on the screen right now. This is an example of the service packages that they are offering. Very, very enticing in this, sound very inviting. A deluxe pool view room, 16 days, 15 nights for 32,000 baht, and free airport pickup, hotel, hospital shuttle, 2 real-time COVID-19 tests, and 3 free meals daily. So this is like paradise, like you're on holiday. But of course, I mean, you'll be confined to your rooms and only go out when you need to go to hospital for checkup.
Yeah, that is good option for people who has to go under quarantine as well. And that can be solution for medical tourism at this particular juncture, Kun Thepchai, because right now all the hotels, all the facility, medical facility, especially from hospital, they also need to generate more income during COVID-19 as well. And
no, we anticipate that in the third or fourth phases of the easing of the shutdown measures, the air travel will be more relaxed. And that means that many Thais who are being stranded overseas and foreigners who need to make trips to Thailand will start coming to Bangkok. And of course, the medical authorities are afraid that if they come back in large numbers, it will put a strain on the public health system. So not enough hospital beds or facilities to take care of them. So this is an alternative that they believe that will help relieve the pressure on the public health system.
And in the long term, it may change the whole face of tourism industry, and probably visitor into Thailand can stay for longer stay and more sustainable tourism as well, because they can take care of their health at the same time while in Thailand.